Hi everybody, welcome along to our Sunday afternoon, whatever it may be, programme, show, debacle, insert here please. Right, during the week Mr. Fix-It went to a car boot, which for those of you not familiar with that, it's a sort of open market where people who've had a clear out in the house and they've got a load of stuff they no longer want, bundle it into the back of the car and they pull up onto a pre-arranged fields or site, open the car boot, and you're welcome to go and rummage and purchase things that they have. You can get some very good deals that way because people basically just want to get rid. And I won't bore you with all the things that he got, but for those of you that didn't watch that, I just want to really quickly go through. He found these cushion covers. The back of them are so cheap and nasty, it's horrible. But the fronts are of huge interest to me because that just says to me, BoHo journal cover. And he got several. This red one, turquoise, which I'm probably going to end up using. I love turquoise. Two turquoises, in fact, royal blue. And they've all got sari silk and sequins and beads, and they're fabulous. This mustard one I really, really like as well. I love it. I love look at that. It's beautiful. And another turquoise one, another mustard one. But they're all different. The sari silk in the panels is different in all of them. This cream one, how lovely is that? And a cerise one. So, you know, I've got plenty to choose from for my cover when it comes to that time. But we're a ways away from that. Now, it was brought to my attention today that somebody, and I presume it's not just one person, is having problems keeping up, and they feel a bit swamped by all the videos that I'm putting out. I really never intended it to be a craft along with me, keep up with me type series. But I did want to get all the ideas out there, so as you had all the ideas and you could choose where to put your pockets, where to put your journaling tags, whatever. And I'm sorry if some of you felt swamped by that. That wasn't the intention. I just wanted to keep it interesting for everybody. And they are videos, so you can go back in. You don't even need to watch them all in one go, you know. Go back in, dip in and out as you wish. And it'll be pretty similar with this BoHo. We'll be going really quite quickly, but I'm not intending you to keep up. You know, I junk journal sort of 6 hours a day, every day. And I'm certainly not expecting everybody else to do that. But that, you know, once I've done it, the videos will be there forever and you can go in and out as you wish. So who have we got? Hilda, morning. How are you doing, Hilda? Lynn, Deborah, hi Lynn and Deborah and Jen and Regina. How are you feeling, my love? I hope you're feeling a wee bit better.
Natalie, KJ.
Oh, Natalie.
Karina.
Helen, Flo,
Blah, blah.
Corinne, Kerry. Oh, thanks, guys. You're troopers. You're wonderful. So I spent yesterday evening, well, after I'd calmed down from putting the cover on the Nature Journal, I spent yesterday evening sorting out the papers that I'd need for this journal and trying to collect together some things that I thought would be nice. This is not my entire stack of metallics and laces and whatever. I seem to have an enormous amount of it for somebody that doesn't really do BoHo journals. And I know why. I did a degree a good few years ago now, textile art degree, and we gathered together a lot of stuff then, and it's really never been used. So it's kind of all come to the forefront now. I'll give you a quick little canter through some of it, and remember, this is just some. I've got a lot of this sort of very light stuff, shiny and nice. Look at that. Look at that. I've got this, oops, I've just dropped something on the floor there. This lace, which is a goldy coloured lace. Really, really nice. This sequin sort of fabric. Same, but in pink. And I've got a lot of sari, actual straight up sari fabric. This is a piece of that. So you see, I mean, there's loads. I've got boxes of it. Boxes and boxes. Some of it might never even ever see the light of day again. Wouldn't that be a shame, really? And then I've got my trims and my laces, stuff like that. So this trim came from a sari shop, actually. It's really nice. This was white lace. All of these were white lace that we dyed. Dyed this turquoisey colour, which is quite nice. I've got some bright pink lace and some other bright pink lace. This, which also came from a sari shop. How lovely is that? It's gorgeous, isn't it? That'd be really nice down the edge of a page or along the bottom of the page or something. It's lovely. And then this, which is probably even nicer. These sort of little felted balls in lots of different colours. They're gorgeous, gorgeous. And this is all I've got left of this one, but it's really nice. Then this, which is, it's kind of cheap and cheerful trim. It feels cheap, but it's so blingy. Lots of different coloured satin ribbons. We've got this one. You can't really see that there. Kind of goldy colour. This, which is wired but would make nice flowers, nice fabric flowers. This, which is self-adhesive, I think came from a charity shop or something, but it's quite nice, very useful. What else have I got in here? Got this sort of turquoisey shiny stuff. I've got the same as that turquoise but in cerise. Don't even know I had that actually. I've got some gold sort of eyelash trim. Nice. This one. Not the right way up, that's it.
Yeah, forward a bit. That's it.
Yeah. Just a yard of those. And then I've got these ones. Well, I've got some purple and some gold little bows. I don't know why I bought purple, just was obviously in a purple mood that day. And this, look at that. It's fabulous, isn't it? Fabulous. I love it. And then this, which is, it's like shisha mirrors in there, if you know what I mean by the shisha mirrors, the little round mirrors that have got sewing around the side, but this is plastic, so it's not going to weigh our pages down too much, but we'll still get sort of the effect that we're after. This one. Now, I'm not expecting you ever to go out and buy all the stuff that I've got. It's taken me years and years to accumulate this. In fact, I'd say about 15 years. Would you say, Mr. F?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah,
probably.
about 15 years. So, you know, you've got what you've got, basically. I would, however, recommend that if you've got an Asian quarter or an Asian area in your town, that you go there and you have a look in their sari shops. I found when I went, everybody was so helpful and thought it was really funny that this fat white woman was looking for sari fabric. But they were so helpful to me, and really all I was after was some sort of remnants, if they had any, and some trim. And it was so inexpensive. So I'll be doing that again once this silly lockdown is over. Yep.
Regina says she's sending out parcels on Monday, so there might be 2 you can use, Fiona.
Oh, brilliant.
It might take a couple of weeks to get here, of course.
I'm so looking forward to that. Thank you. Here's another trim here that Mr. F found on his car boot journey. This is quite a heavy one. I mean, it's really nice. It's lovely. But that would go down the bottom of the page, hanging down over the bottom, I think. I don't think I could even get away with putting that down the side. It's just a bit too heavy. But really nice. Too nice not to use, I think. And whilst he was ferreting around at the car boot, I know some of you will have seen all this, which is why I'm trotting through it fairly quickly. But here are some of the things he got. I mean, this. Look at that. It's beautiful, and they're quite light as well. And then these, which were pieces of material, which he's broken up, piece of jewellery, which is broken up for me this morning. So little filigree discs. Obviously these were earrings, but I think they look like sort of part of a paisley pattern. You know, I think you easily get away with those in your journal. This I think was some sort of large necklace arrangement, but once again they'll look really nice.
Mandalas.
Yeah, mandala type things. There's this, which is a really pretty little bracelet, and actually I don't think I can break that up. I really like it. It's nice. I like wearing it, so why not?
Jen says she wants a junk journal with all those trims just so she can look at them over and over again. And that is one of the main purposes of a junk journal, really, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the joy for me of a junk journal is just once it's finished and you look through it and you've forgotten the bits that you think were a mistake. You know, because you look through it and the first time you think, oh, blimey, you know, my stitching was a little bit off there. But in time you forget your stitching was a little bit off, and your eye isn't automatically drawn to it. And you can enjoy the beauties within, all the trims and the papers and the fabrics and everything. BoHo particularly, I think, with that.
Regina says they're all coming here to do shopping.
Yeah, I know. I know I'm lucky. I mean, you've got Michael's, Hobby Lobby and whatever that do real discounts on things. But I think we've cornered the market on cheap and cheerful second-hand stuff. This is a ring. I mean, would you believe that? This is a ring. How about that, eh? Bit of a Bobby Dazzler. But when you look at it up close, each of these are little individual things that are on jump rings onto a flat disc. So I could either ask Mr. F to just whip that back off. I don't know how he's going to do that, but he will because he's clever like that. And I could stick the whole thing down, but it's going to be it's going to have to go on a cover because it's a bit too big for inside the journal. Or I could just break it all up and use these beads separately. I don't know yet. There's this one, which he also got. And it's not shiny or anything, but it's really colourful, and I love the colours that are in it. And I really like these flat discs. They're a bit like buttons, except, you know, obviously they've only got one hole. But I think, you know, a few of those on a page, and I think they'd look really, really nice. I like them. You all right?
Yeah, it's just had a thought.
Oh, I am. Go on.
No, I need to go and get something.
Oh, blimey. Mr. F's had a thought, everybody. And he's trotting away. So this is another pair of earrings he got. He hasn't broken these ones yet, but once again, I think it looks like the paisley fabric that, you know, there's a lot of in India, and therefore part of the Bohemian sort of thing. This is, I think it's three I think they're bracelets or necklace. What do you call it? Anklets, something like that. Anyway, but they're pretty. And I think if they were broken, they'd look quite nice. I particularly like that one. What else did he get? He got this earring. I mean, look at it, for heaven's sake! But if you take the back off it, it'd be great. So I'm really going at a canter here. Another earring. It's just fabulous, isn't it? It's fabulous. Then this, I think it's a bracelet, but these lovely beads here, beautiful. What else have we got? I've got a pair of earrings. Look, there we go. This little earring, I think he said there was two of them. I can only find one, but I haven't really gone through them all. But that's very pretty. Would look lovely in a journal. These beads here, he hasn't broken this one yet, but they're all individual and they'll all come off. And I think that'd be nice individually in a journal. Bit of texture. Pair of earrings, which are quite similar to that one. Somebody, excuse me, somebody obviously had that sort of taste. It's not me, I don't. And look at this. How fabulous is this? I think there is only one of these, but it's really sparkly. And just the job. It's thin, it's light, perfect. Then there's a couple of these, which look like sort of Roman shields to me, but they're really nice. They're a wee bit heavier, but they'd be all right on a fairly thick pocket, I think. Then this one, that's a bit lighter with bits of pretend coral in the middle. This one here with the shocking pink, that would be nice too in the right place. And I think that's it. This was another earring, but he's broken it for me. So I've got all these discs of, I don't know, what is it, abalone or mother of pearl, that sort of thing. But they're beautiful, really shiny, and they've got a hole in them already, so you can easily sew them. Sew them on. Yes, you heard me correctly. Sew them. I think there will be quite a bit of sewing in this one, both hand and machine. But where are we there? Can you see that little hand thing? I'm not sure what it is. Is it a Buddhistic symbol or something? I don't know. I'm not up on my religions. So that's, I think, is that. Right. Okay. So that brings us now to the, oh yeah, and there's this braid as well. It's just gold. It's thin, but it's really, really strong. So that might be worth bearing in mind for if we make journals and we want to tie, you know, down the side of the journals. Right, brings us on to the papers. So last night, kind of late on, Mr. Fix-It's been experimenting with different techniques of coffee staining paper since somebody asked about it. He's taken it on as being his challenge, if you like. And during the week he will come on and he will explain to you bits and pieces about how he stains his coffee paper and different techniques. Yeah.
For attaching them things on there.
Oh yeah.
You could attach them to the fabric with that, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could. Mr. Fix-It's just come downstairs with one of these called a microtack. They're what people apply shop labels to, and you end up with a bit of a plasticky end really, so I'll need to experiment with that and see if that works, because I don't want a plastic tag sticking out. But I'll have an experiment and let you know how that goes. I'll give that back to you because I've got so much stuff here. So this brings us round to the papers, as I said, and this technique. Now I'm not going to go into it at all. I'm going to leave that for Mr. F to show you. But what I wanted was a similar amount to what we had in the last one, pages in the signature. So that was 4 thick pieces of paper, 160 GSM, and 3 thinner, 90 GSM. I'm going fast here, aren't I? I feel like I'm going fast. Let's have a look what you're saying. Let's just chill for a minute and see what you've got to say. My husband got me a cheat sheet, Deborah, and I don't get it. You need to wear some of that bling. Oh, I'm not the world's blingiest person, Lynn. The earrings are fab, but I'd wear them. Yeah. These ones. I could wear these ones for the day. Should I put these ones in? Just so as we get into a boho mood. What do you think? Let's do that, shall we? Oh, blame me. Oh, I know what I forgot to show you. My Hotfix gems that just arrived yesterday. These have just got these little plastic bits on the back, but you know. Who knows who's had these in their ears before? I'm sure it's not the most sanitised bit ever. I can't get the plastic bit on. That's it. Right, there we go. What do you reckon? Lovely. Right, we're in the boho mood. Yeah, my Hotfix gems, which are
on the top over there, look.
On the top over here. So you've seen me putting on Hotfix gems before. usually pink because I'm doing shabby chic, but we ordered these. Look at them. They're all different colours and they're all different sizes, and they go from these quite large ones here and here through to like little more than dust there, but they'd be very effective if you put them in a pattern. So we've got those to play with too. Can I just give those to you, please?
And it says you can now use the earring card, the thing you took the earrings off.
Yeah. Right, papers. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 6 of the 90-gram papers, and 8. I should have 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Blimey, that went well. So aren't these absolutely beautiful? I adore them. I'm in love with them. I really am. These are from a company called, they're a digital download, sorry Regina, a company called Medieval Mirage, and they aren't the cheapest, I can tell you that. But you do get a lot of papers in the pack. And this is called Bohemian something, can't remember, Bohemian something, you'll know it when you see it. But what we've done, well, what Mr. F's done is I've printed it onto one side of A4, and then through the miracles of Mr. Fixit's technique, this is the back side. I haven't printed anything on here. This was just plain white paper when I handed it to Mr. F. And look how downright gorgeous is that. You know, you remember the Nature Journal when we, God, these earrings are weird. When we started it, we went through it and we stamped and we stenciled I think actually, and sprayed with the spritzer bottle just to give us a bit of a background so we weren't looking at a blank page. Well, now we've got this, isn't it? It's glorious. And this one, and that's the back of that. Oh, they're so beautiful. Oh, thanks for my coffee. This one, and that's, I mean, I think I probably prefer the back to the front, to be honest. It's so beautiful. So we've got great starting points. This is a nice page, isn't it? And that's the back of that. And then that one, and that's the back of that. I'll just go through these others with you quickly. This one, ooh, beautiful. And that's how it's come out a bit liney, that one, but overall it's beautiful. This cerise one. I know you all want to know how to do this, but I can't tell you. It's Mr. Fixit's technique. That's a really nice one, isn't it? And it wouldn't be fair to tread on his toes. So watch Mr. F's live in the week and you'll find out. It's nice, isn't it? So they're really, really nice. So we just have to decide, wow, that's gorgeous. We just have to decide what order we're putting them in the book, really. So we need 2 of the heavier ones to make a cover with. That, I would say, is a strong contender. It's a good all-over pattern. So that can be one signature. That's a nice one. That's a nice one, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So let's go for these, for the outer cover of each signature. Same as the nature one, we'll have 2 signatures. So, okay, so we've got that. That's the cover. So now I want a thin page next to it. I'm going to put that one there. So that's what you'll see on that side.
Regina says you need to show around your room one day.
No, you don't, Regina. you just don't. It's a flipping nightmare.
Just imagine the monsters.
It's bonkers, this room. I think that'll go nicely there because I think that'll sort of go with that. So I'll put that one there. And now on a thicker one. Again, I could have done this before you joined me, but this is kind of half the fun, isn't it, really, sorting out what you want to go where. Now then, maybe a bit pink. So I'm trying to get 2-page spreads, if I can manage it, that look related. Yeah, that might go there. Need a thick one now for that. So that's blue. So have I got any blue? Not really. Not really any blue. That might go there though. I'll put it that way around. Then a thin one. Well, that one can definitely go there because that's turquoise. This is a sort of creamy kind of colour.
Carrie asks if anybody has a tidy craft room.
It's impossible because you get everything tidied up and then you search for that one thing that's at the bottom, so everything else has got to come out. It's madness. You can't keep it tidy. It's ridiculous. The suggestion.
I think it's a little bit of like the big kitchen syndrome.
Yeah.
The bigger the kitchen, the less cooking they do.
Yeah, the tidier your craft room, the less crafting you do. I'm not casting aspersions. I mean, you know, you might be just a really tidy person.
And Deborah says she likes to see what you think. How your mind works.
Did you watch yesterday's live? Right, so I've got these. Maybe there's some that just aren't perfect for a page spread. There's that and that. It might go better that way. But don't forget, there's going to be pockets and tucks and this and that and the other and blah, blah, blah. So let's get these folded up and see what we think. I think that already this is my favourite one. So I'm just going to do what I always do. Fold each one individually so you get a good line. And you may recall yesterday when we came to inserting our signatures that it's really crucial that you've got a good crease line. Otherwise you haven't got a hope of getting your signatures in. So it's thick, thin, thick, thin, thick, thin, thick. That's what it is. Does anybody say they like my papers? I love them.
Yes, people like that, and some people can't wait to see the demo. Neither can I.
The demo. Well, I'm hoping it's going to go all right.
And Deborah says if she's not rummaging, she just forgets what she's got.
Yeah, that's very true as well. You know, when I was looking through everything, looking for the stuff for this BoHo journal, the amount of stuff I turned up and said, do you remember that? Have you ever seen that before in your life? Nope. But obviously we have. It's in the house. I mean, we've found loads of like bits of what look like sort of Eileen type stuff, but feel slightly different. And they're in an envelope. There's several pieces like this. They're in envelopes, so we've obviously sent for it. And it's got no bit of paper in with it. I've got no clue what in heaven's name they are. So I'm just going to have to mess around with them and see if I can fathom out what they do. I went through a real period where I liked heat distressing everything. Felt and metallic fabric and all sorts of things. Tyvek particularly. So there's quite a lot of that sort of stuff around. But as I say, I know I do. I really know that you won't have. It's unlikely the majority of you are going to have this vast array of stuff that I have to hand. You know, I'd be worried about you if you did, because I'm worried about me. I'm worried the cameras are going to come and they're going to create a program called The Hoarder. And there I'll be, sat there, crafting away, oblivious to everything, while they're making this telly program about all the stuff. One woman and a dog. Right, so that's one signature. Let's just have a quick look through it and see what it looks like. That's a nice cover. Glad we chose that. Looks nice. Oh, is it upside down? Yeah, it's got some writing on it and it actually looks like it's a little bit upside down, so it's easily remedied at this stage. Right, so that's our cover. We've got these bits sticking out, which I slice off just to even it up. So that's inside. Yeah, that matches. That's a nice spread. That's a lovely spread. Yeah, we can make that work. This bit disjointed, but that's okay. We can bring one colour into the other and we'll be all right. That all goes beautifully. And that look upside down as well. And this is. I'm going to have to be careful with that, otherwise I'm going to end up with upside down bits. That works. That works very nicely. And there's our centre. So yeah, I think we'll be all right with that. So that's one signature ready to go. So I'm just going to trim down that excess. I think I put my rotary cutter away yesterday because we weren't cutting anything. So just line it up on the edge of that outside cover. And trim your excess bits off. That's the joy of a rotary cutter and a quilting ruler. Okay. So this one we'll just do the same thing with. It's not a bad idea. It familiarises yourself with your paper and stuff anyway. So there will be some sewing in this, as I said, both hand and machine. And I'm certainly not going to make you sit and watch me do all the hand sewing and what have you. I will show you, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, and the next time you see it, it will magically have appeared. I know some of you hate hand sewing. I'm not the world's biggest fan of hand sewing either, if I'm honest with you. But I like the idea of getting some of this bling onto there, so that's what's luring me.
Jen says, have you ever been to a store and found something you find amazing and you buy it and then find out you've already got it when you got home?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we must have all done that. Have we all done that? You just completely forget you've had it, but the same reason that drove you to buy it in the first place.
And Kerry Roberts would like to know what make your rotary cutter is.
That's a good question. It is a Alpha, I'm guessing. Alpha, O-L-F-A, Alpha. Alpha 4.5, no, 45 mil. Mr. Fix-It's got a different one. His is sort of more straight. But these ones you can adjust to left or right-handed, and given that I'm left-handed, that was a consideration for us. So, yeah.
You can also get one smaller, 28 mil.
Yeah,
and the bigger one 60mm.
Yeah, I find the 60mm one a bit unwieldy because, let's be honest, you can go wrong very quick with 60mm. This is quite a turquoisey one, this one, but never mind. It's all right.
Donna says she's got a red rolling metal cart that she puts everything on and wheels it out when she wants it.
I just couldn't fit everything out. What can you imagine? What it would be a car. It would be a full-blown estate car. All the stuff we've got. I'd have to drive it into the living room.
That would just be your go bag.
That'd be my go. Yeah. We've tried go bags before, and that, you know, that sort of thing, keeping the immediate things that you want to use close to you. But it always just gets silly, and it's overloaded with stuff. So yeah. So no, I sit surrounded by my shame. Last piece.
Crafty Ali creates said, "Good afternoon, everybody. Just saying hello. She's been watching Fiona create the native journal and it was beautiful."
Well, hello, Crafty Ali.
She says she'll have to watch from the beginning of this video later.
Well, really, you haven't missed a lot. We were just sort of going through bits and pieces that I've got to put in the journal. You haven't sort of missed masses, really, to be fair. So I'm just going to do the same thing here. Make sure you've knocked them all in as tight as you can get them.
Apart from folding a bit of paper, I think that's about it.
How dare you, sir? How very dare you? Right, so that's that squared up as well. So we are, guys and gals, ready to go. Oh yeah, another trauma I had this morning was trying to decide what colour thread to use and what colour ink to use. That took me, I don't know, it took me probably an hour to decide on those choices.
Estrada Creation says hello. She's from the JJJ group.
Hello, Estrada Creations. Thanks very much for joining us. You're very welcome. We're a chatty, happy little group here. So if you've joined to see something really serious, it's not going to happen. But you might learn some things. You never know. Nice to have you with us, that's for sure. Right, so I'm going to start on...
Estrada says, what tool is that? I presume she's talking about the rotary cutter.
This, Estrada, it's called a rotary cutter, and it's got a blade, a circular blade in it, which is very sharp. Which does dull down, but actually, amazingly, considering we're cutting paper more than anything, stays sharp for certainly more than a journal, probably 2 journals worth. And they're not that expensive to replace. So once you've bought your yellow frame, you can just keep buying these blades and replacing them. This one, I've got the blade here on this side, because I'm left-handed and I cut like that. But Mr. Fix-It, who's right-handed, he would have the blade on this side. So that's a good thing for this one. You can make it left or right-handed.
Pull the handle.
When it's like this and you're not going to use it, it's got a little safety button. If you push that through, you can't make it work. And to make it work, you just clasp it like that. It pushes the blade forward, and then you just roll down wherever it is you want to cut, and it cuts. It works particularly well with quilting rulers, which I favour for cutting my stuff because I find it much easier to get things square. So that's that. Right, so which signature am I going to start on? I want something turquoise. I want to start on something turquoise. That's turquoise, that'll do me. So yeah, I'm aware I'm starting in the middle of a signature. What the hell? Right. So I've got lots of turquoise things. Let's get them out. Let's see what we've got. See what we're going to do. I've got that, all these things. Now this is interesting. This is what we were doing 10 minutes before the live, which is why we were late. This is some shiny man-made stuff, which is lovely in its own right. But I decided it would be lovelier if we added some of that lace that I showed you earlier, which is also very man-made. So, flushed with success from yesterday's bonder webbing, I decided that I would bonder web the lace onto the metallic, and look what we got. How nice is that? So that's a tip for you. That's an idea, I think, that's worth pursuing in your journal. If you know, even if you don't have the same fabrics as me or whatever, but if you've got lace and you want to add it onto something and make it sort of one piece, bonder web it. What a sensation. So I'm thinking that I could make a nice pocket out of this. Maybe on an angle, like that. Maybe put some of my trim. I'm just thinking here. I'm just thinking. I don't know. I've got... Oh, that's nice trim, isn't it? That's very nice. Yeah, liking that. What do you guys think? What do you think, eh? I've also got a big area here that I can put something on. I'm not sure if they're the right turquoisey colour or not. I don't think so. I also sought out all the sequins I could find this morning. I'm sure there's masses more somewhere, but I couldn't find them. So I've got all these nice sequins that I could sew on. They're nice in the gold. They're tiny, but they're in gold, and they'd go with that. See what I'm thinking here? They're also gold, and they're bigger and blousy. No, I quite like those small ones, actually. I've got this gold cord that I showed you. And I also sort of made this envelope as well, but I'm thinking we probably need it in a different colour. This envelope, it wasn't originally on this paper. What I did was, I've got loads of download digital kits. So I chose an envelope that I liked the shape of, etc., printed it out, cut it out, then used that as a template on a paper that I liked, that I thought would fit in with our journal. So that was one of them that I did, and there's another one somewhere around. Yeah, this one. Oh no. Oh no. That was the original. Now, get the feeling that was a freebie from Artie Mays or something like that. I just can't find... Yeah, here. And that's the envelope that I made from it in my own paper, which I think will look all right in there. That might be what's going to go in there. Needs a bit of tarting up. A little bit of... Let's do the tarting on that first while we prevaricate over what to put on there. So I'm just going to get a bit of this, and I'm going to get my Jane Davenport Distress crayon things out. I've got some Distress crayons, Ranger ones, Tim Holtz ones, and then these ones that are Jane Davenport. That looks like a sensible colour for me to do that with. So what you do is you just... I've already inked around it. I haven't stuck it together actually yet. But it's kind of pearlescent inside, so I'm all right with leaving it like that. So I'm just going to go around the edge here with this Jane Davenport crayon. As we speak, I can hear Mr. Fix-It rummaging through the back room, which is where all our sort of stuff is kept. And then you just, with your finger, just distress it, pull it into the middle. Make sure you've got the edges done. If this is too much like hard work for you, and it is a bit like hard work to be honest, if you get some water, don't know where my water went actually, here it is, just the longest, narrowest pot in the world. I'm just going to spray a little bit of water into here, just so I can put a little bit on my fingertip, and it'll just make this go a bit easier. I could hear you rummaging around.
Me?
Yes, you.
Yeah.
So I'm just doing this to kind of get into the flavour of the colour, the colours that we're going to be using. What did you find?
Just the black ones are the micro tags.
All right, yeah.
Stand out slightly less. Because I don't think you fully appreciate my genius.
I fully appreciate your genius. So there we are, we've made that really plain sort of envelope into something much nicer, and something that goes with our colour scheme much better. You don't have to just do it on the outside. If you don't want to, you can do it wherever you like. Go in the middle, anywhere you like. They're really good, these crayons. I really love them, actually. They're lovely for going around tags. Let's come along there as well. I'm so struggling with a super large milk jug. I didn't think that one through, did I? So it makes a difference, doesn't it? It certainly makes a difference. There we are. Just need to go along that edge because it's just missed out. I'd like more of a bowl if you can manage it. With some water in already would be great. So there we are. Just this bit to do. The question then is, are we going to add anything to it? I mean, the thing about BoHo is you should never really be asking that question. Thank you very much, my love. Are we going to be adding anything to it? Because the answer is obvious, yes. If it's a surface that you can add stuff to, then get it added. Too much is not an option in BoHo land. But even just something like this, yes, it takes time. Junk journals do take time. Don't embark on one if you're not prepared to put some time into it. So there we are, that's nice. Let's just pop these away, out the way. Seem to be working as usual on a 2-inch square piece. So right, that's nice. It's just a little bit damp there around the edges. So that's a much nicer envelope now, isn't it? For very minimal effort. But if that's going to go in our pocket, which we've kind of established we're going to make there, I'm not saying that's definitely, going to be it, but if that's going to go in there, it's taken up a huge percentage of that page, so it needs something on it. Not sure what yet, but it definitely needs something on it. We could, instead of gluing that, we could sew that up, and we could sew some braid down there. Yeah, that might be what to do. So let's find some. Is everybody? Yeah, gelato, same thing. Gelato's a lovely. I love all Faber-Castell stuff. Desiree, you haven't missed very much really. You missed a lot of me ranting on, as usual. So let's see what I've got here that I could add that would... Oh yeah, look, I've got those as well. I mean, they are cheap and cheerful, but God, aren't they blingy, they're lovely. What about some of this? What about some of that? I don't see anything wrong with that. Sorry?
Just trying to catch up on your question.
Oh.
Kerry said, does it feel sticky through the lace? She's on about the bundle web.
We thought it would, that's why we did it. But no, not at all. I wouldn't like to say that if you didn't heat it again with an iron and add something else to it, you know, there might, but there is no stickiness whatsoever there. Bizarre, isn't it? You'd think there would be. Don't know why, but no. It has my seal of recommendation, that one. Right, so we've got this grade. Actually, that's really nice. And I had another one, didn't I, that was sort of greenified. A greenified grade.
Desiree says she's a bit late, but hi.
Yeah, Desiree, do not worry, girl. You've missed really a lot of faffing, hasn't she? That's all she's missed. Yeah, this greeny one.
And Estrada says she usually uses just junk papers rather than printed out papers.
Absolutely, absolutely, that's the way to go. It's much cheaper and, you know, can be so much nicer. I've also got the lace that we dyed ourselves. That might be quite nice, because I could actually get some stuff, holes, there's holes in there, I could get some stuff on. No, let's just go for the all out bling, shall we? Let's just bling it. So shall I go all the way around the envelope or just on the front? Just on the front, I think. No, all the way around. Now I haven't got enough in turquoise to do it twice, so it's going to have to be two different colours. So given that, shall I just use two completely different colours, like the purple and the cerise? Yes. Excellent, we have a decision. So this is self-adhesive, but I will sew it as well, because I never trust things that say they're self-adhesive. So I'm coming over the edge there, so I can trim it back. And I'm just going in, I don't know what that is, 1/8 of an inch, something like that. All the way down and off the bottom. Just trim that up.
Janet Ann says, hi everyone.
Hi Janet, thanks for joining. Welcome to our crazy journey, but we have fun. This adhesiveness on here, glue, whatever you want to call it, is very good actually. So that's a bit of that left. I'm going to stick that on there because you never know when I might want to use that. So yeah, that looks nice. I like that. I do like that actually. Do I just want it on one? I'm just going to put it on one part at the moment. You never know, I might want more. Right, let's do something about this pocket. I'm a bit loath to cut it. Well, it'll be all right because it's got, it's the other thing, if you're using very free fabric like this stuff here, Bonder Web, I think, is going to be your solution. Don't forget to put something over your fabric because it'll just curl up in the heat and die. But if you Bonder Web it, then you're going to stop it fraying, so then you can use it. You've got, you know, it'll be much more usable fabric for you. Just a tip as we go through. So yeah, that's going to go there. But I want to hand sew some sequins on it. But it's going to go like that. So let's just mark where it's going to go. It's not square, this, which isn't helping the cause. What am I doing? I can't think what I'm doing. That's the wrong way around. This lace is directional. Just to let you know that my particular lace, I got mine from eBay. I bought it by the yard. I'm looking at a Sharpie marker here which marks on everything. So I want it to come from about there to about here, I'd say, because I want to allow plenty of space down here so I can decorate it. So from there to there. Right, so that's going to be where my pocket is going to go. Let's just give it a final check to make sure. Yeah, that's lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, I can't press this in because it wouldn't hold a crease, I don't think. So I'm just going to have to, I would pin it if I had pins. I'm sure I've got pins somewhere. Talk about disorganisation. I don't think so. We're organised. Where's my mark there? Right, so I'm just going to pin that just to hold it. Oh, the pins don't like going through that much. Still, I only need a couple. And there. Not that one. It's a blunt pin, so what do? I put it back in the pin cushion. That's madness. Should have gone in the bin. Right, so that's that. So I'm going to put my braid on, whatever braid I decided. Which I can't remember. Oh, it was going to be this one, wasn't it? Now, this one looks to me like it needs to be glued down. I could possibly sew right along the edge there, but I think it really needs to be glued. And actually, we're only going to get... Can you have a rummage through my ribbon box? You know that one that I've got that's quite similar to this, but shinier? See if you can see it.
Rummage through your ribbon box. There's an offer you can't refuse.
I don't think I'm going to get... I'm only going to get 2 droppers at the most, and it's not enough.
Yeah, we're looking for something similar to that.
Yeah, it's got sort of shiny balls hanging off it. There's that one. That's quite nice. Bearing in mind, let's remember that this is going to be going in there. So yeah, I could get away with that, I think. I've got my very blingy bling. This is what takes the time, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest, this is the time-consuming bit where we consider each and every single piece of trim we've got before we arrive back at the original choice. No, mustn't be in there. Oh, it might be in the box to the left. Back, there's a box of like BoHo stuff. Yeah. Well, that's nice. No, okay, doesn't matter. But I think I'd have to hand sew that on again, and I'd quite like to get something sewn on today so you can actually see a bit of progress. So what about that? That's it. That's the fella. Thank you. Yeah, this one. Look at this. Yeah, that's the one, I think. Now this frays like Billy-O. So, I know that's Edith. I'll show them that. This one isn't for my BoHo. This is for my next Edith Holden one. Look at that. Look at that. How beautiful is that? but that's going on Edith. Yeah, I think this is the one. I think I've decided this is the one. So I need to start sewing just inside that mark that we made there and stop sewing just outside the mark we made there. So I'm off to the sewing machine, guys. Let's hope this works. I'm going to put it on a zigzag. Have a drink of pop, seeing as it's here. And try and hold the crease in, although the pins are a great help. I can't get my foot far enough over because of the bead situation, so it's going to have to be a straight stitch. Straight stitch, and I'm going to have to move the needle over that side. Zipper foot would be the perfect thing for this, if you have one. Make sure we're square. Make sure we're starting square to give us a chance of finishing square, shall we? Right. This is beautiful trim. And once again, it came from the sari shops in our nearest big city, which is 60 miles away, but that is our nearest big city because we live in the back. Well, you go to the back of Beyonder and then keep going. We live out in the sticks. Where's my mark? Just need to find where my mark is. I might have tossed it. Okay, so that's sewn onto there now. So that's going to come to there. Oh, where are we? There, that's going to come to there. Oh, I should have kept going for a little bit. Well, that's not the end of the world. I need to keep going really to the end of that, I think. No, just another 1/4 of an inch out. Right, so let's cut the ends off and see where we're at. Now, if you don't want to sew, and I completely understand that, some of you don't sew, then I recommend that you glue everything. There's nothing that I'm sewing that you couldn't glue. So that's going to go there. This end's very free, so it needs to be stuck down quite well. Oh, I've got some more ends here. So I can take the pins out. It's a bit of a slow start because you always have to get into these things. You know, you got to get your head in the boho spirit. So that all needs to be stuck down really quite well. Because as I say, it frays like the very devil, and that needs to be folded over down there. Now what I intend to do is zigzag this on all around it. You know, once I've got that folded in and stuck down and whatever. But I really do want to sew some sequins on, some of these little gold ones. I could also, I could Hotfix some stuff. Let me chop this off. Now I'm going to leave that on actually till I come to sew it or glue it, because you end up, it goes like that. So I'll glue this on now. Try and catch that if I can down into there. And I'll use some, everything got put away yesterday for the grand making of the cover. So I'm going to put a pile of glue here. Absolute pile of glue.
Regina says when the family comes, they're going to the indoor flea market and she'll do us a live.
Oh, brilliant. Look forward to that, Regina. That'll be excellent. That's what you should have done, Mr. F. Should have done a blooming live as you go around the car boot. You wouldn't be at all embarrassed. Excuse me. Right, so I've stuck a wodge of glue on there. Hopefully it'll keep that thread that's carrying these little beads and stop the rest of it fraying. Can you see just how pretty these beads are? Look, they're gorgeous, aren't they? So that's nice. That's a nice thing to have on a page. I'm getting more pleased now, getting more into it. Let me just check that this is long enough. Blimey, it's just long enough. So I'm going to glue all of this on. I'm going to cut my excess off because it's not doing me any favours anymore. But keep hold of it. That's just too good to throw out, isn't it? So I'm just going to glue this end down as well, trying to catch that thread if I can. It's going to be tricky, I think. Well, I'll try it. I'll try it with glue, you never know. I don't really want to do it on my journal in case there's a great big blob of glue on the end there, which I'll use.
That's 3-in-1 glue, isn't it?
3-in-1, yeah. 3-in-1. Now I don't think I've caught that thread that's carrying the beads. So I'm going to have to cut that and risk losing some beads. Yeah, they're falling off. So I'm going to have to catch that thread there, and hopefully I can glue that. This is fiddly, isn't it? But that's all right. I quite like fiddly. So stick a load of glue on that and hopefully that'll stay stuck. Hopefully that will do the job. This is why I didn't like using this one, because it is a bit of a fiddle. But anyway, that's that. So it's going there. Yeah, that's just perfect. So what I intend to do is zigzag all the way around that after I've sewn my my sequins on. But I was talking, was I not, about Hotfix stones. I've got these, which are just sticky stones. But shall we have a go with a Hotfix, Mr. F?
Why not?
Shall we switch it in? Plug it in. Let's plug it in.
Using your glue gun at the minute.
No.
Which is...
So I could kind of mark down there as well, really, where it's going to go. I'd rather just have a little bit extra than a little bit. Where is it? It's in a box. Well, that's...
You had it there and you took it over there, and I don't know what you did with it after that.
I didn't do anything with it then.
You did, you gave it to me.
I'm just going to cut a little bit of this out of the way. Let's hope that glue works, eh? I'm going to keep that as well. You know, I'm being silly about this and I'm being so precious about it, but it's gorgeous and I don't want to waste it.
Which size are you doing it?
Well, I'm going to do a medium size, I think. So, on the end of the Hotfix glue gun thing, tool, you get a variety of nozzles that fit on. These are they, and they go from the titchy witchy one right through to a flat one, which is great. As I was saying, if you've those little ones that are like dust, put the flat one on and you can cover quite a few at one time. You get a little iron in case you're desperate to iron something. This gigantic one, I mean, blimey, that is massive. And other assorted sizes. The idea of it is that, and this is important, you want the stone to fit into it, but not entirely. Somebody was asking the other day about why doesn't it actually melt the fabric that you're putting it onto. Well, this bit should never touch the fabric. The stone should sit into it, but still sticking out a tiny little bit. I hope that makes sense. Is it set up? Yeah. Can you tell me what size I can use? Or... Coffee, coffee, coffee.
With a nozzle that's in probably 1, 2, maybe 3.
1, 2, maybe 3. So that's 1, 2, maybe 3. Okay. So let's get those out on a piece of paper. And you can also buy tools. Come as no shock that you can buy extra tools. Oh, look at that. You see, I told you I never trusted that self-adhesive stuff. It's coming off. Good job that I didn't sew it up. So now, before I glue that envelope up, I'll sew down there. Because I definitely don't want that coming off. That would look a bit bad, wouldn't it? So what did he say? 1, 2, maybe 3. Okay. So these are all different sorts of colours. I'll go for 2 because that's in the middle of what he said. And see what colours we've got. Am I in frame yet? So there's green, there's... Oh, I'm not going through each colour. There's loads. But I feel that I can use almost any, really, because of the beads here. These are all different colours. So I can probably use any that I want. And what I'm thinking, I was going to tell you about the tool. I'll tell you about that in a sec. I get carried away. There's some lovely sort of light goldy ones. They're really nice. Oh, there's turquoise one there. Bet the turquoise ones get used up first. Because I'm always using turquoise.
I'll have a little zoom in and
yeah,
we can perhaps see the colours. Ooh, there we go.
So the question is, do I want to use all different colours or all the same? And I think the answer to that is all different. All different, kind of like we've got in this, in the bead trim there. So where did you put the katana?
On the table next to the thing, I put it. Right next to the hot glue thing. Does it fall on the floor or something? Or?
Right, so you get this tool and it's called a crystal katana. Nowadays there are different brands available. At the time we bought this was about the only one there was, and it was really expensive, or expensive for me anyway. But now you can get cheaper ones, and I think even Ali does them. as well. So this end it's called a sticky end. It's silicone, I think. It doesn't feel sticky to the touch. So we just got to decide where we're going to put these. And it picks the stones up. So, I mean, we could put them in the centre of the flowers. Would be quite nice. All these things that you think, oh, can I be bothered? Yeah, be bothered. Please be bothered. Because it makes such a huge difference overall to your finished journal. Yeah, I like those in different colours. They're nice. Hope you agree. And I'll come along in a sec. And so this is now, I now don't need to do any hand sewing, I don't think. I think this is probably sufficient bling, really. I'm not sure where that ends. I'm not going to put one there because I need to sew near that bottom. So is there any others? There's some up in there. Yeah, I might just do them as well, for the sake of completeness. Yeah, because you can see them, I think. So there we go. I think that's it. And I think that'll look nice. Right, so you take your tool, having placed your crystal where you want it to be, and you literally plonk it over the crystal, and there's no, when you move it like that, there's no movement to begin with when the glue is still solid. But when the glue starts to melt, you'll feel your crystal move. So just hold it down for a couple of more seconds after you get to that, and lift it off, and that will be stuck there. As painless as that. So down onto where you want it, and just keep a gentle pressure on it, moving it. You feel it just doesn't move, and then all of a sudden it starts to move, and just keep it on for a couple of seconds after that, because it's moving because the glue's turned liquid and it's allowing it to move. So there we are, that's those two. I always start from my right side going that way. I don't know why. You'll find your own technique for doing it. Just realised I'm doing this on my cutting board. I'm hoping it's all right. Will it be all right?
Yeah. Not transferring much heat through.
You can actually see when the glue starts to bubble if you really look closely. Have I done that one yet? That one? No. So the katana isn't that much help really when you're dealing with crystals this size, but when you're dealing with the itty bitty ones, it makes a huge difference.
KJ wants to know what the tool's called that you're using.
This?
Yeah.
Is the box there? No.
No, that one doesn't live in the box, but I've got another one upstairs.
Okay. I got the tool, this pink tool, I got from either Aldi or Lidl, both of which are cheap supermarkets in this country, and they have all the sort of food that you want all stacked up, but in the middle of the supermarket they have these aisles that are full of sort of special buys that they've managed to get hold of really cheaply. Wow, I've seen that. That's brilliant. Well done.
This one's just called a multi-use tool, but
just shove it
just
in.
Hotfix tool.
Yeah,
I guess is
that one's budged. Just put it back.
There we go.
So I'm hoping that you can see by what we've done today, which I know it's not masses, I know that, but we made a start, and sometimes that's the most difficult bit, just to make a start. But you can see the way that I want this journal to go. I want it to be bling to the max and lovely. Colourful, bright. Is Hilda still on?
I believe so.
Oh, hi, Shaz.
But yeah, basically you can get two types of crystals. Some that are called Hotfix, and they tend to look black on the back.
Yeah.
That's because they've got glue on. So you use the hot tool to melt the glue and it sticks on. The other type are the silver or clear.
On the back.
You have to glue those ones on.
Yeah, and
That makes sense.
You have to use E6000 glue, which in this country is like blinking gold dust, and it's really expensive. And it's a right fadaddle as well, because you've got to get the stone, put the glue on and fix it down. But anyway, there we are. They are affixed. I'm quite confident that they're not going anywhere. I hope you can see how they are very sparkly and very lovely. And I'm just debating with myself whether to put some down here. I might just make a sort of pattern. Let's just have a little look before I've got them out, so, you know, why not have a little play? This one is a very, very pretty one. I could go around the paisley pattern. I could. I'm not saying I'm going to. I'm just messing. See what's possible. I don't know, this might be just too much. Well, I'm breaking my own rule there, aren't I? By saying it's too much. There's a lovely one there. I'm not sure if you're picking that up. This one here. It's called Aurora Borealis, that one. And you can buy packs of just those, and they're like Swarovski, is it you call it? Crystal. They're really, really super shiny. That looks quite nice to me. What do you think, Mr. F?
That looks very nice.
Yay or nay?
Yay.
I don't think I can get another one in there. Might have to shuffle these around a little bit. Wow, that one is so sparkly. Just put that one there. Yeah, guys, what do you think? What do you think? I like it. I'm going for it. There's no stopping me today. Not with my heat gun. Embossing tool.
Hotfix.
Whatever it is.
Hotfix
tool. So you see, we've done it on fabric. We're doing it on paper, and you just get that same sensation. It just starts to move under the tool. And you know then the glue's melted, so it's going to stick. That one's moving around. I mean, it really doesn't take long once you're... picked that one up the wrong way around. I need to replace it. Once your tool is heated up, it really is quite a fast procedure, to be honest. And they're not expensive. I recommend that you go to Ali for your Hotfix crystals, because you get literally thousands for next to nothing. Isn't that true, Mr. F?
Yeah, I think I saw a Hotfix tool with 4,000 crystals on there the other day. It was about £6.
So that's about $8, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking cheap here. For a fantastic effect, really.
And they stick to anything, so you can
Yeah.
bedazzle anything you like. Your slippers, your glasses, your phone case.
Yeah, anything. He's right in what he says.
No, I wouldn't do your underpants.
No, might be a wee bit scratchy.
Be a wee bit scratchy.
Once the glue starts to melt and you can move it a little bit, if you've got it just in the wrong place, then that's the time to drag it to where you want it. I don't mean the other side of the page of paper or anything, but you can just move it slightly and get it to exactly where it is that you want it. But the trick of the whole thing is getting the right size tip. Don't get a tip that's too big, that covers the entire stone, because you run the risk of scalding or scorching, or worse if you're doing material, fabric, really wrecking it. So choose your tip carefully. Don't try and change your tip when your thing is hot. It does get very, very hot, as you can imagine. So be sensible. And it's not often you'll hear me say that, but be sensible. So there we go, guys. So there we are. That's quite enough crystals, I think, for one day.
Just pull that towards you slightly, so. There you go.
Sparkly, sparkly. Lovely. So what have we achieved today? Well, we've selected our papers, we've made our signatures, we have learned that you can apply lace to very, very man-made fabric using Bondaweb. We made an envelope out of a template for something else. We've used Jane Davenport round there to tie it in with the rest of the page. That's going to go in there. That's going to look very pretty, and I'm just going to zigzag round there, and probably the whole page. I'm going to sew down this tape so it's I can be certain it's never going to move. And there we are. We've actually finally done a page. Only one page, not the spread, but we made, I think we made good progress. I feel like we've made some progress. So I'm going to be carrying on with this during the week, because otherwise we're never going to get to the end of it. But I appreciate that some of you do actually want to follow along, and if I have any tips to give out, you want to hear what they are and what I'm doing with certain things. So I will try and video as much of it as I possibly can. You might want to watch it double speed when you watch it back. I understand that. Sometimes even at double speed you can still hear what I'm saying quite well, and if and if it's something you particularly want to hear, then come out at double speed and just go on to normal speed. But I'm going to proceed with this. I like the start that we've made. I really, really do. And we'll see where we go from here. 3:30 again. Sorry to have kept you so long. Okay, so I'll see you definitely next Saturday for a live. Mr. F will be popping up in the week to do a live on coffee stain in your papers, which is interesting and you might want to catch. In the meantime, I can't thank you all enough for joining me. You're a great bunch of folks. You really are. I appreciate it. I really do. And I'll be there in the week, but maybe not live. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.